So today we are covering the C posture, which is the rounding of that upper back at address rather than having a nice flat upper back. We're covering what that causes in the swing, how to improve that position and how to adapt to it. Right, let's get stuck in. The more you're rounded with that C posture, the harder it is to rotate and get that extension that you're looking to achieve. And as you can see in the screen now, it can cause a lot of swing movements that you would want to avoid. So we've got 3 drills to help improve that posture at address, a very good, simple, effective stretch, and then 3 swing adjustments that you can then adapt to that position as you're trying to improve it. Any small marginal improvement on that will have a massive effect on the rest of the efficiency of your swing. Right, our first drill is the iron bar hinge. So this is a very good drill to remind you that you need to hinge from those hips rather than being sat down. So if you've ever got your belt buckle and you put your club on your belt buckle and it's pointing parallel to the floor, then you know you're in the wrong position. You haven't hinged from your hips enough, and the upper back has got to do most of the work to get your hands down to that club to get yourself into the posture position. So this is a very effective drill to feel that hip hinge again. So you put the club along your waistline, feel you're going to pull the shaft back, which will expand the chest out, and pinch those shoulders. So the pinch of the shoulders is very important. And just feel that you're pushing a chair away from you so you're getting that hip hinge, trying to maintain the pull of the shaft, the expansion of the chest and the pinch of the shoulders. Try and maintain that position, that feeling of that pinch, and then drop the hands down into your setup position with that club, trying to maintain that pinch, which will then get yourself into that much more efficient posture position, which will then enable you to turn a lot easier. Drill number 2, so this is our open chest drill. So you've got this particular one, I've got a 5-iron 4. I just solid it over the top of my back on the line of the shoulders, so you get yourself into a W position that you created with your arms. So then you're feeling that expansion of the chest. And now you've got to get down to your posture position, which you would normally use by rounding of the upper back, but in this position that's going to be extremely difficult. So you just want to get that feeling of hinging from those hips. As you see in the first video, the hinge from the hips is vital to reduce this C posture, and then it's training the upper body to get used to this new position. So it's got less work to do and it's more open. So get yourself in that position, and then tilt forward, feel that pinch in those shoulders again, and then get yourself set to that ball, trying to maintain that position. So that will just give you that feeling of how more open and flatter the back should be. So this is drill number 3. So this is a drill with a band, or if you haven't got a band, then you can use a towel to the same effect. So I'll show you with the band first. So just get your hands just over shoulder width apart, put the band behind your shoulders and gradually stretch it out as far as you can, and really feel that expansion of the chest, the big width that you're creating, the pinch of the shoulders, and then get yourself set into that golf posture position by hinging from the hips and maintaining that position. And even if you did a turn, you'll feel that the turn with that movement there is so much more efficient rather than the rounding of that back. So maintain that posture position, just gently drop the band down and move the hands nicely into their position, and try and feel again maintaining that pinch. Now if you haven't got a band, the towel is a little bit harder, but it will really emphasize that. Get your hands just under shoulder width apart, so you've got a little bit of give in that towel, otherwise it will be extremely difficult. There needs to be some give. Give the same idea as the expansion of the band, so just nice and relaxed. Get yourself in your posture position, the starting point, so you're nicely upright, and then go up over the shoulders again, expand out. You won't be able to go as far back. Keep that position and tilt forward, but you really will feel that expansion of the chest and the shoulders. It's quite tough, this one, but if you haven't got a band then you're a bit limited, but just feel that difference rather than the rounding of those shoulders. So you can really feel the extension out and those lifting those hands higher than they're probably used to being. But it will just give you that feel of what you're looking to achieve. Gently drop the tail down, keep that expansion of that chest and get yourself set into your posture position. So our first swing adjustment that you can do while you're working on trying to improve that posture, quite simple, straightforward, is shorten the length of the swing. So nothing too high tech. If you go beyond the length of where your efficiency then falls down, so you've got too much of a rounded C posture, and then as you're trying to turn, and it's very difficult to then get that extension with those arms, everything is then going to be lost. So you could lose that posture, you could then reverse spine angle, you would then potentially early extend and then get that flat shoulder blade. So a lot of things can suddenly kick off just purely of the fact that you swung the club too far back and then the body cannot physically do that move. So shortening of the swing could make a massive difference to you maintaining your angles and making the move a lot more consistent. So our second swing adjustment goes in sync with the first one, because not everyone likes shortening their swing. It feels they're going to lose distance and speed, and it can disturb the timing. So your alternative to that, and try and maintain a decent position but create a longer swing while you're working on that C posture, is to just allow the lead heel to lift off the floor. You don't need to physically actually just lift it. While you're swinging back, you will gradually, as you're swinging back, the hips will start kicking in on that turn. Just allow everything to turn with it. It will take a massive amount of pressure off that top half if you allow everything to go with that turn on that backswing, which will then potentially give you that longer swing you might feel more comfortable with, be able to time the ball better, get the speed that you want to generate on the downswing, which then produces that power, but you will then also maintain your angles a lot better. If you're unsure on this, one of the best players ever on the planet, Jack Nicklaus, used to lift his lead heel, Phil Mickelson, Francesco Molinari. So that's not a bad lineup. So give it a go and it could make your swing a lot more efficient. Our third swing adjustment can be the lead arm. So a lot of people are very obsessed with that straightening of that lead arm. So if you really put that in a hyperextended position, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure, one, on your lats, two, if you're rounded, trying to get that extension out, something's got to give. So then that's where those other swing characteristics then kick in. But if you allow that lead arm just to bend slightly, just to have a slight curvature in it, rather than going for that full extension and that width out, it can cause a lot of other things to then go wrong. So you could then look at that as if you're then thinking, right, you've lost power then. But if you look at the long drive boys, their left arm bends, their lead arm bends a tremendous amount on that backswing, and potentially you've also added in another hinge there which can produce more power. So as long as you get that straightening on the way through impact and just allow that lead arm to bend, it could take a tremendous amount of pressure and you'll feel so much more comfortable with that backswing, and you'll still produce just as much power on the way through with a lot more consistency. So this is our open book stretch. I've got a yoga block. If you haven't got a yoga block to support your head, use a towel. So you get yourself into your cradle position, get that head on that block or towel, lift your knees up, so the higher the knees are, the more higher it will attack your back. The lower arm goes on top of the kneecaps and keep that pressure on there, so you don't want that opening up. So then you'll get the feel separating the top half from the bottom half. Put the top arm, stretch it out as much as possible, and then open yourself up like you're opening yourself up like a book. Allow your head to rotate, and you're trying to get that arm to get down on that floor. Breathe through that stretch, hold that stretch for a few seconds, and come back and make sure you do both sides. Very good, efficient stretch, separating the top from the bottom half and really feeling that you're opening up that chest and getting that turn. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those videos. I hope they helped your game. Any questions or comments, please write them below. Give us a good thumbs up. Make sure you subscribed. Take care and see you soon.